What I'm about to reveal may surprise you, it may even shock you. If you're watching this video right now, it's not a coincidence. You were guided here because something extraordinary is unfolding in your life. You are awakening to your true power, a power so intense that those who once doubted you will have no choice but to acknowledge your strength. The people who ignored or underestimated you will soon see you are no longer the same. What once was resistance is now becoming respect. But this awakening isn't just about how others see you, it's about how you see yourself. It's a spiritual and energetic transformation that is completely rewriting the rules of your reality. You are about to witness a radical shift in your life. But in order to fully embrace this change, it's essential that you understand how this power works and how to use it in your favor. Before we dive into this transformative message, take a moment to do these 3 things right now. Tap the like button. This helps us bring this message to more people who need to hear it. Subscribe to the channel. We're on the path to 1,000 subscribers, and each new chosen one strengthens this mission. Comment the number 99. This number will send a powerful signal to the universe, amplifying the energy of this message. And remember, if you are truly a chosen one, you'll watch this video until the very end. Deep down, you already know these words were meant for you. If you're ready to receive this truth, your life will never be the same again. Now, open your heart and prepare yourself, because what you're about to hear could change everything. This is the moment when everything changes. You are no longer a spectator in your own life. You're not here just to react to what happens around you. You are the architect of your destiny. For the first time, you're seeing clearly that you always had the power. What once felt beyond your control is now right in front of you, waiting to be shaped by your intention and energy. No more doubt. No more allowing the world around you to dictate your choices. The power you need to transform your reality has always been within you. This change is not just mental or emotional. It's a spiritual revolution. You're awakening to a higher level of consciousness where your thoughts, your words, and your actions carry a weight they never had before. Now, everything you do resonates more intensely with the universe. And do you know what that means? It means that the limitations that once held you back no longer have power over you. Fear, doubt, insecurity, all of it is falling away because you are stepping into your true identity. This transformation is not temporary. It is permanent. Once you awaken to your true strength, there's no going back. For a long time, you lived under a veil of illusion. The people around you, your life circumstances, even your own beliefs, made you see the world in a limited way. You were conditioned to believe you needed others' approval, that you should settle, that there were unbreakable rules, absolute truths, and limits you could never cross. But now, that veil is lifting. You've begun to see things as they really are. The lies that once held you captive are being destroyed by your new awareness. You realize those limitations were never real. They were imposed by those who feared your awakening. And the most profound truth is this: it wasn't just external lies that held you back. It was the lies you told yourself. Maybe you believed you weren't strong enough, that you didn't deserve more, that you'd never reach the life you truly wanted. But now, that limited version of you is dissolving. The truth is clear before your eyes. The power has always been inside you. And now that you've awakened to this reality, no one can deceive you, manipulate you, or push you back into the submission you lived in for so long. You see the world with clarity, and that clarity is your greatest weapon. Now, everything that was hidden is being revealed, and nothing can stop someone who sees the truth. For too long, you lived under the influence of forces trying to shape your reality. You followed rules that weren't meant for you, accepted truths that weren't yours, and allowed others to guide the path that should have been yours alone. But that era is over. Now, You are in control of your life. The manipulation that once bound you has lost its grip. Mind games, discouraging words, and attempts to control you, they're powerless against the strength you've now awakened. What once made you doubt yourself now makes you stronger. You see that those who tried to control you were never more powerful than you. They simply took advantage of your former lack of clarity. But now that clarity is here, you no longer bow to anyone. You refuse to live a destiny that isn't your own. And with this liberation comes an indescribable feeling. The freedom to be exactly who you are. That means from this moment on, your decisions are yours. Your choices are no longer influenced by fear, doubt, or the need to please others. You know what you want. You know where you're going. And most powerfully of all, no one else has power over you. Manipulation has lost its effect. Now, your life belongs only to you. Now that you've broken free, everything begins to change. The energy around you is shifting. Situations that once felt out of control are now in your hands. You are no longer the same person. Insecurity has been replaced by certainty. Fear has given way to courage. The need for approval has vanished. People around you begin to notice the change. Some will feel inspired, wanting to learn from you. Others, those who once tried to control you, will feel intimidated. But none of that matters, because now you understand you're no longer playing their game. You're creating your own. Your growth has become unstoppable. Every step you take reaffirms your power. Every decision you make strengthens your purpose. You realize that the more you trust yourself, the more the right opportunities appear. The universe responds to your energy. And now that you're vibrating at a higher level, everything around you begins to align with this new reality. The ascension of the chosen one isn't a one-time event. It's a continuous process where each day you become stronger, wiser, and more aware of your true power. Now that you've ascended into your real power, the world around you can no longer ignore you. The people who once underestimated you are beginning to see your presence differently. Some will feel admiration and respect. Others will feel fear and discomfort because your light now exposes the shadows they were used to living in. You become a catalyst for transformation. Your presence alone changes the energy of any space. Your confidence and clarity force others to look inward, and not everyone is ready for that. Those who once tried to manipulate you will realize they've lost control. Their tactics, their words, their actions, they no longer affect you. Others will be drawn to this new version of you. They'll want to learn, grow, and align themselves with this elevated energy. Your power now influences those around you without you needing to say a word. But the biggest change isn't just in the midst in you. You no longer seek validation. You no longer care about external opinions. Now you act from your truth, knowing that the universe always supports those who are aligned with their mission. This is your new reality, and from this point on, everything continues to expand. The question is no longer, will people notice I've changed? The real question is, what will I do with this new strength? Because now, you don't just transform your own life, you transform the world around you. Nothing is more powerful than someone who sees truth with absolute clarity. When you are under the control of illusion, doubt, and fear, your strength lay dormant. You accepted the lies the world fed you, believed in the limits they placed on you, and followed paths that weren't yours. But now, that's over. Clarity has set you free. Now, you see the intentions behind words. You recognize who's truly by your side and who was only there to use you. This new vision means you no longer fall into the traps that once held you back. You're not fooled by empty promises. You don't bow to manipulation. You don't weaken in the face of challenge. Your clarity has become your greatest weapon, because a chosen one who sees the truth becomes unshakable. Now all that was hidden is being revealed. You no longer need to question, hesitate, or fear. You simply know. And that knowing is what ensures that no one can ever control you again. All that's left now is to use this clarity to shape your new reality. Because with truth on your side, nothing can stop you. Now that you see with clarity, the illusions that once held you back have not only vanished, they've lost all power over you. And the impact of this goes far beyond your own life. Your truth has now become such a powerful force that it begins to affect everyone around you. Lies that were once accepted without question are now being exposed. False leaders, manipulators, and those who fed off the ignorance of others are beginning to lose their grip. Because you didn't just destroy the illusions in your own life, you're showing others they can free themselves too. This causes two reactions. Some will feel inspired. They'll see your strength and realize they too can awaken. You'll become a beacon for those who are ready to see the truth. Others will feel threatened because your light exposes the darkness they've tried to hide. They'll try to discredit you, weaken your message, but it will be useless. Because once the truth is revealed, it cannot be erased. The power you now carry is far more than just a personal awakening. It's a calling to transform everything around you. You don't need to convince anyone. Your presence alone carries the truth. And this truth has the power to dismantle every illusion. You've reached a point where nothing and no one can stop you. Your strength doesn't just come from your mind or your experience, it comes from something much greater. You are now aligned with divine energy of force that has always been within you, but has only now fully awakened. This connection to the divine makes you unshakable. Before, you may have been shaken by negative words, criticism, or unexpected challenges. But now, none of that holds power over you. When you are aligned with your true purpose and connected to this higher force, everything changes. Difficulties that once seemed like mountains are now just steps in your ascent. The people who try to stop you simply can't, because your growth no longer depends on anyone's approval. Your power is now so solid that nothing can destabilize you. You've become someone who no longer fears the future, because you know the universe is on your side. You move with confidence, knowing that nothing can break your essence. Now, the only question that remains is, what will you do with this unlimited power? Because the world has already realized that you can no longer be stopped. Something has changed within you, and now the world around you is responding to that change. Before, your presence may have gone unnoticed. Your energy may have been easily ignored or manipulated. But now, that's no longer possible. You carry a natural authority. The way you move, speak, and act commands respect. You don't need to raise your voice or demand recognition. Your presence alone transforms the environment. This new strength doesn't come from ego, but from the absolute certainty of who you are. You no longer seek external validation. You don't ask for permission to be great. Now, you command your reality. The right opportunities begin to appear. People who once didn't value you are now seeking your attention. What once seemed like an obstacle now dissolves in your presence. But most importantly, you're no longer shaken by what happens outside of you. Now, you are the one who defines the course of your journey, and the world simply adapts to your strength. This is the power of someone who has finally taken control of their own existence. Are you ready to use it? For a long time, there were people who doubted you. Some tried to control you, others wanted to see you fail. There were those who used words to diminish you, who tried to convince you that you'd never make it far. But look where you are now. They were wrong. Now, you realize those people never had power over you. They simply fed off your old insecurities, your need for approval, the doubts that once haunted you. But those doubts are gone. The fear has vanished. And what's left for those who tried to stop you? Only silence in the face of your victory. They see your rise and realize they can no longer reach you. Their words no longer affect you. Their actions don't stop you. because you've already surpassed every limit they once tried to impose. But this victory isn't about them. It's about you. About the person you've become, the strength you've awakened, the destiny that is now in your hands. What once seemed impossible is now your reality. And the best part, this is only the beginning. Now that you've conquered the past, nothing can stop your future. Now that you've awakened to your true strength, the question is no longer what happened to me, but rather, what was I called for? You didn't go through this transformation by chance. Everything you've lived, every battle you've faced, every obstacle you've overcome, each of these was part of a greater plan. The universe does not awaken someone without a purpose, and your calling is already right in front of you. Perhaps for a long time, you felt like your life had no meaning, that the difficulties you went through were unfair, that there was no clear purpose for your existence. But now, it all makes sense. You realize that every challenge was training, every pain, a lesson, every fall, a test of resilience. And now, you're ready to fulfill what has always been yours. Your purpose is not small. It is great. It is transformative. It is not meant only to elevate you, but to impact the world around you. The chosen ones do not live just for themselves. They live to inspire, to lead, to leave a legacy. Now, you have a mission. What will you do with this power? How will you use your new strength to create something that goes beyond yourself? Now that you understand your calling, the greatest freedom of all is in front of you. The freedom to be exactly who you came here to be. For a long time, the world tried to shape you. It tried to make you fit into patterns, tried to convince you that you had to follow the path others created, but now you see that none of those rules apply to you anymore. You are free. Free to create, free to decide, free to live without fear. What once felt like a struggle has now become a choice. You no longer need to prove anything to anyone. You don't need to justify yourself. You don't need to convince others. You simply live your truth. And when someone tries to trap you again in old limitations, you'll smile because you know the only one in control of your destiny now is you. This freedom is what the chosen ones carry. It's not just external freedom, but internal freedom. The absolute certainty that nothing can stop you. The question now isn't if you can, it's what you will do with this new freedom. Because the world no longer has power over you. You now command your own destiny. Now that you command your destiny, your energy has become your greatest ally. You've already noticed how some people are naturally drawn to you, while others simply can't remain in your presence anymore. That's no coincidence. The energy you carry now is intense, elevated, and powerful. It attracts those who are ready to grow and align with that vibration. But at the same time, it repels those who are still living in darkness, in lies, and in manipulation. That's why throughout this journey, some people have disappeared from your life, and that is a blessing. The universe is filtering your path, ensuring that only those who truly resonate with your energy stay close to you. You no longer need to chase anything. Now, everything you need naturally aligns with you. The right opportunities appear, the right connections show up, and everything flows effortlessly. That is the true power of energy. When you emanate something strong and true, the universe responds in kind. Now, it's up to you to decide how will you use this energy to keep growing and impacting the world around you. Because one thing is certain, what you attract now is exactly what you deserve. Within you, there has always been a warrior. For a long time, that warrior was silenced, discredited, weakened by doubt and fear. But now, he has awakened. You realize that you no longer need to run, no longer need to hide, no longer need to ask for permission to exist. The warrior inside you is untamable. He does not bow, does not fear, does not hesitate in the face of challenges. He moves forward with confidence because he knows that victory is inevitable. This warrior does not fight for revenge. He fights for truth. He does not waste energy on petty battles. He chooses his fights wisely. And the greatest battle he ever won, it was against the limitations inside his own mind. Now, you see yourself through new eyes. You realize that throughout your entire journey, you were never weak. You were simply being trained for this moment. You always had this strength. Now, you've simply decided to use it. And when a warrior awakens, there is nothing left that can stop him. What will you do now that you've discovered your true strength? Because the world is about to witness the power of the warrior who has always lived inside you. Now that the warrior within you has awakened, the most important battle takes place in your mind. It is not the external world that defines your destiny. It is your thoughts, your emotions, and your ability to control them. You've already noticed how the mind can be your greatest ally or your worst enemy. It can strengthen you or sabotage you. It can propel you toward victory or trap you in fear. But now, you've taken control. The negative thoughts that once weakened you no longer hold power over you. The doubts that once paralyzed you are now replaced by clarity and confidence. Mastering your mind does not mean you never feel fear or insecurity. It means you do not let those emotions control your actions. You've learned that thoughts are not absolute truths. They are simply clouds passing through the sky of your consciousness. And now, you choose which thoughts to feed and which to let go. That is the difference between someone who lives in chaos and someone who lives in mastery. Now that you command your mind, there are no limits to what you can conquer. Because when the mind is your ally, everything else becomes inevitable. Fear no longer controls you. For a long time, it was the invisible barrier that blocked your growth, that made you hesitate, doubt yourself, and avoid taking risks. But now, that barrier has been broken. You've realized something essential. Fear was never real. It was just a projection, an illusion designed to keep you inside a comfort zone. But now, you no longer seek comfort, you seek evolution. Overcoming fear doesn't mean you never feel it. It means recognizing it, facing it, and acting anyway. You've already been through so much faced challenges that once seemed impossible. And in the end, you always overcame. That proves that fear never had power over you. It was only a temporary obstacle. Now, whenever fear shows up, you no longer shrink. You move forward. Because you know that on the other side of fear lies your next level of growth. This is the true meaning of freedom. It is not the absence of challenges, it is the absence of paralysis. You've become someone who doesn't run, doesn't retreat, and isn't held back by insecurity. Fear may still whisper in your ear, but your voice is now much louder. You are free, and someone who is truly free cannot be stopped. Now that you have overcome fear, your transformation doesn't just impact your own life. It begins to transform everything around you. The energy you carry now is felt by everyone. Your gaze conveys certainty. Your posture reflects strength. Your words carry truth. People who were once lost start to pay attention. They see in you what they have always searched for, living proof that it is possible to awaken, to grow, and to overcome. You become a beacon for those who are still in the dark, not because you try to convince them, but because your presence alone is already a message. And this is the domino effect of transformation. When you rise, you show others that they can rise too. Some will distance themselves because they are not ready for this change. But those who stay will be the ones who truly have the potential to grow alongside you. Your power now is not only personal, it is creating an impact that spreads, awakening those who were asleep. And that is the true purpose of a chosen one, not just to change your own life, but to inspire and transform the world around you. Because your victory is not just yours, it opens the path for many others to awaken as well. Now that you've become a beacon of transformation, something extraordinary happens. Everything begins to flow. Before, life seemed like a constant struggle. Every step required extreme effort. Every achievement felt distant. But now, you realize that the universe was never against you, you simply weren't aligned. True power doesn't come from resistance, but from acceptance. That doesn't mean passively accepting anything, but rather understanding that there is a rhythm, a natural flow guiding everything exactly where it's meant to be. When you stop forcing, stop trying to control every detail, and simply trust, the right doors open, the opportunities arrive, and life finally begins to move in the right direction. Now you act without desperation, without anxiety. You know what is yours will come and know because you have to chase it, but because you are already aligned with it. That is the difference between someone who fights against the current and someone who sails with the wind. You've learned to trust in the divine flow, and now everything simply unfolds as it should. Because when you stop resisting, the universe starts working in your favor. Now that you understand your true strength, everything has changed. You are no longer that person trapped in doubt, fear, and limitation. You have awakened to your true power, taken control of your life, and stepped into the role of creator of your reality. The illusions have dissipated, the chains that held you back have been broken, and now the world is before you waiting to be shaped by your will. Nothing can stop you anymore. What once seemed impossible is now inevitable. You carry a presence that transforms everything around you, inspires those who are ready to grow, and pushes away those who can no longer match your energy. You are free. Free to choose, free to create, free to live without fear. Now, only one question remains. What will you do with this power? The path is open. Your new life begins now. Before we go, do these 3 things right now. Hit the like button. This helps us share this message with more people who need to hear it. Subscribe to the channel. We're on the way to 1,000 subscribers, and each new chosen one strengthens this mission. Comment the number 99. That number will send a powerful signal to the universe, amplifying the energy of this message. The journey is just beginning, and the universe has already confirmed you are ready.